Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. And wow, you know, I got this guest. She was on the show 3 weeks ago, but she was so fantastic, so educational, so full of inspiration. And I'm not going to say that she kind of was preaching, but I tell you what, her sermon was heard. It was heard, heard by so many that she was requested to come back on and tell us some more. And so I'm just so happy that we got Stacy Bullock back on the show again. Such an outstanding young lady that's doing so many great things out there. She is the founder of Power and Resilience Coaching Agency. She's a best-selling author. She's just so many other things. I'm gonna let her tell you all about those things when she come on. But most importantly, she's a woman of God, and it just shows. It's she steps in the room lights up. And that's just the type of personality that she has. And I think many of us need to have that type of personality because we have to maintain the faith. We have to understand our self-worth. We have to understand that we do bring value and we bring power and we bring a lot of different things with us in whatever line of work that God has chose us to do. And so today's topic is called recognizing your worth. And the reason why I believe this is so important because it's easy for us to give up on a lot of things when we feel that we have no value, we have no purpose. We It's easier for us to just throw the towel in and say, "I'm not going to do this." But I believe that God always put a moment or that aha moment in front of us, and we start recognizing that, wow, I do bring purpose here. I do. Uh, I am. I was sent here. I was born for a reason, and I have to go out and I have to live up to that reason that I was born. I have to inspire others. So that's why it's so important that we talk about that today. And we got this young lady here, I tell you, and I've been watching her videos all week on Facebook and and whatever else mechanism that she's a part of. And so today, just like I said, the title of the show is Recognizing Your Worth. And we're going to get a chance to know the veteran, the best-selling author, transformational speaker, CEO, Stacey Bullock. We're going to discuss how and why we should recognize our worth. We're going to discuss her book, Recognizing the Stranger in the Mirror. Sometime it come back, we don't know who that is. We have to be able to recognize that. But most important, we're going to discuss her business, power and resilience, and ordered steps incorporation. So I cannot wait to get her started. And Dr. Michelle Cooley is not here with us today. She's out taking care of some things. So I got double duty, but that's okay. That's okay. Without any further ado, I want to bring to you Stacy Bullock. But uh, if you're watching this on E360 television, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching on any other of the 25 plus live streaming networks, you can be part of this conversation just by going to the comments and asking her any question you like. So here we go. Let's bring this absolutely wonderful, wonderful guest on the show, Stacy Bullock. How you doing, Stacy?
Hi, Dr. Cooley. You got me pumped up over here. So I'm trying to figure out who you're talking about.
Stacy, it was just so wonderful having you on the show 3 weeks ago. I had to just block off some time to get you back on because we didn't finish last time. And then I think that we had a few technical difficulties with the show last time as well. But guess what? We ain't got none today.
Right. And guess what? We still here. We still breathing. We still getting it done. Ooh, I'm excited. Let me tell you. I'm gonna be quiet.
For the people that did not uh, catch the first portion of the last time or missed it, can you tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit about Stacy? I mean, not just a little bit, but you got 3 minutes, and I'm going to take myself off the screen, and you got this one. I know you got it.
Oh my goodness. 3 minutes, that's a long time to talk. But I am Stacey Bullock, as Dr. Cooley has said. I am a resilience coach, best-selling author. He said that I'm a speaker, keynote speaker. I can talk about a full gamut of life's encounters, life's things that come at you, your curveballs that you were not expecting. We can talk about how do we get through this quickly and with the least amount of damage possible. I believe that it is my life's mission to help others get to their mission, to get going, to be ignited, to be excited about getting it done, finding that place in you that almost as if you're going in and just flicking on a light switch and saying, as Dr. Cooley said earlier, having your aha moment. I am valuable. I bring something to the earth. Yes. I'm so excited just to be able to, I feel excited when I get to help other people get excited about being who they are, about fulfilling purpose, about filling your God-given purpose. You know, okay, you mentioned the word preach. We're not gonna go there.
And you know what? But Stacey, I'm telling you, and the last week I saw you twice. I was watching, and I couldn't. And I was like trying to do some things. I said, I'm gonna have to put this down. So if that's what it requires, let's do it.
Well, thank you, thank you. You know, because of who you are, that speaks testaments to you when God's presence shows up wherever we are. And that is how it should be. That is where we get to have the full understanding and clear representation of who we are. We can't do it without God. We cannot do it without the instructions. And you know, everybody's here for a reason. As you said, we all have a purpose. Everybody's purpose may not be to do what you and I do, but you have a purpose. And when you don't do it, somebody is going to miss a part of their puzzle because we were not in place to complete that portion of the puzzle. See, you know how puzzles grow, puzzles expand. And each piece causes everything to expand. And that's what God wants us to do right now. Expand. Okay.
He wants us to expand, I believe, and he also wants us to push the information out that helps us help others understand that they are born with purpose, and that even though they might not see it now, just like in my circles and cycles, phases and stages. These are the things. These are the experiences that shape you for what God plan is for you. And just like the title of the show today, understanding, realizing yourself, not self-worth, but realizing your worth.
Yes.
Sometimes it takes, I believe, Stacy, and I know you're gonna put it down in a minute. Sometimes it takes, or not say literally, not literally, a kick in the butt to understand that. Stop pitting yourself. I mean, just dig deep inside yourself and understand that God is always talking to you. And one of these days, I hope that you might have a infection where it cannot get out and stuck in your head, and that's when you have that aha moment. So let's talk about that one a little bit, Stacy.
Yeah, so it's ironic. It's an old post that I posted last year. It came up. You know how they do the yearly things, show you what you had out there, and I posted and wrote and said, "Go inward and pull hard." Sometimes we got not sometimes, all the time when we're looking for a solution, it's right there. But sometimes we got to dig through, we got to pull through, we got to bring stuff up. And that's why resilience is such a powerful piece to the puzzle. Because if we don't have the will to do, the want to do, the desire, the passion, if we somehow are lacking in this breath of life that we need every day. See, that's why when you get up in the morning, you got to make sure when you take that breath, that one that you realize that you took, say thank you. Because that's your fresh, new compassion for that day to get you motivated to move forward, to pick yourself up. And that's what I had to do as a former Army veteran. I experienced some things that kind of literally sat me down in a chair, said, "You're not gonna move." I told it different and still do on a daily basis. But we gotta find that resilience to come back. Have to. Because we are worth it. We are worth to see what the finished product. Well, actually, you're not going to see the finished product, because I always warn people, when you get in this thing and you really say yes, it's forever. The desire, the ability to grow and function and be viable does not stop.
It does not stop there. And I want you to hold that thought. We're going to take a station break, because I want to come back and talk about that a little bit, is growing and the finished product. I do believe that there will be a finished product. And we're going to talk about that when I get back. But if you want to be part of this great conversation with Stacy, all you have to do is go to the comments, ask any question that you like, and I promise you that pastor, motivation speaker, all that best-selling author, Stacy, is going to get you an answer. We'll get you an answer. It's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. See you shortly after the break.
I never wanna leave. Yeah, I'm right where I wanna be. We got something you and me, and I can't get rid of this feeling. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Hey, I'm so drawn to you. I'm so drawn to you.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do.
Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I got my fantastic guest here, and she putting it down already. And we just started. I mean, so I meant to tell everybody, grab yourself about 5 or 6 bags of popcorn because you know we gonna do this, and this is real. This is not a movie, so this is real. Yeah, and so if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to the comments, ask Stacy any question that you like, and I promise you we'll get you an answer. Stacy, we left off on the commercial break where we were saying that it takes a lifetime sometime in making sure that we get a chance to discover our self-worth. But I believe that in this lifetime, as we grow, as we discover us, as we become more confident, as we believe, and I not always have to put it up there because that's where I'm at. As we believe in the Lord and that we let Him guide us, He will put people in our path. Some people for a reason, some people for a season, but others for a lifetime. And I believe in trusting yourself and understanding your self-worth many times takes a lifetime. But there is reward at the end, because I believe that if you are a truthful, faithful servant, and that you do God work, and that you believe in yourself, there will be incremental steps along the way where you gain more and more self-confidence, you receive more and more blessings, and you're able to give. You're able to give more and more blessing. And we call that becoming seasoned. And I'm going to save the end of that until we get back in this conversation. I come back with it. So, but Stacey, tell our viewers now, our listeners, what prepared you to become an artist, a writer, a servant, nonprofit owner? I mean, all that type of things, because you're doing so many great things, and I can see that people love you. I do too. I love you. I mean, you're doing all these great things. Can you tell our viewers and listeners a little bit about that?
Okay. Did you say what prepared me?
No, what propelled?
Propelled. Okay.
Not prepared. Or God always prepares.
Yeah. And through some stuff that we don't even most of the time realize that we were being prepared for something until we get to it. That's why we can't give up. But I want to just say something about the last segment. You said many rewards, not in, but there's one in, but there's many masterpieces, as I heard you say during the commercial break, that we achieve along the way. And what propelled me to do this is my own life of literally having to make a decision. What are you going to do now? Most things are birthed out of a question, and the question is prompted by something that is going on in our lives. Most of the time it's pain. So don't be mad at pain. Just allow it to produce. And so with this self-worth, we have to allow the pain to produce more in us, as we just mentioned, the confidence that's built. When we go through things, what happens is we get an understanding. We come into a knowledge that things are temporary. They change. And if we keep going, and if we keep pushing, and if we keep trusting, and if we keep believing, and if we keep listening, go internal and listen. See, that's where self-worth is. Self-worth is internal. It's different than self-esteem. Self-esteem is built up by the things that our physical eye can see that we accomplished. But our self-worth is that internal engine that continually pushes us to wanting to finish this part of the journey. There are many, the song says, hurdles to climb, hills to climb, but it's not rough. Don't look at it like that. I climb hills now on purpose because I'm building physical strength, and I'm also building internal strength, because as I tell my body what to do and how to do it, it builds this strength that shows up when things are hard. It shows up. You know, I've been taking yoga, and I thought to myself, oh, well, this is slow and boring sometimes for me. But now I love it, because guess what I'm seeing? The strength that I have in my body, that I know that I didn't lift that many weights to get that. So I had to have something else put in place that was going to help me build my internal strength. Because as I'm standing there holding these poses, I begin to think to myself and say, okay, you got this. You can do this. Breathe. And that's what we have to do in life when we breathe. When you breathe, we expand. When we expand, our worth and our value of how we look at ourselves expands. Enlarge our territory is not just a physical place. Enlarging our territory of who we are. Enlarging the trust that we have, first of all, for God, that He created us and that He made us in His image and said, hey, you have the ability to produce exactly what I placed in you.
Go ahead on now. Go ahead on. you know, I tell you, I want to talk about recognizing your worth, but also recognizing the stranger in the mirror. And we talked about that last time. I couldn't get enough of it. Because we ran out of time. So first of all, tell our viewers why you wrote that, and can you identify 3 points in the book? Yes, I didn't read it. 3 points in the book that the 3 points, you identified 3 major points in the book. Can you talk about those as well?
Yes, recognizing the stranger in the mirror is written from my life. Again, doesn't specifically have specific stories about my life, just the growth pattern and the processes that I went through to get here. And I'm still growing. We're all still growing because we're alive. But one thing I need you to take away from this is that you need to know exactly, without discrepancy, without any deception to yourself. One of the things I talk about in the book, I believe it might be the first chapter, is tell yourself the truth. Because when we have truth, we get free. It actually happens. It actually gives you the ability to release yourself from something that stopped you from expanding. Know exactly who you are. Don't have no deception about who you are. Accept your role in who you are. Accept your role in doing your part. I say it all the time. If everybody would just do their part, we would have a much different space that we live in. If you just did your positive part, not the negative, leave all that alone. The positive part, the part that strengthens and builds and gives other people life and gives other people encouragement, gives other people courage, gives other people a way, an example to see. One of the leadership principles that I always will remember is that you are to set the example. That people are following you, whether you think they are or not, they're following you. So where are you going to lead them? Hopefully you're going to lead them to no more self-destruction. That's the third point. No more self-destruction. We want to have self-worth. We want to have an internal strength that builds us up in every situation that we have. I say always be awesome for a reason. In every situation that we find ourselves in, be awesome in it. Be vital in it. Play a role in it. Know exactly what it is.
Wow. So, in writing this book, this fantastic book, what surprised you about yourself once you finished this book, once you finished the book?
Surprised. I was surprised at the freedom. Sometimes it still surprises me because I'm like, oh, I am not even judging myself the way I used to. So critical. Yes, I examine myself for sure, but judge myself? No, I don't speak condemnation to myself. I don't say you're not worth this. I try my best, my very best, not to tell myself no anymore. When I don't, yesterday, for prime example, I had to go to an event. I don't like going to events by myself with a room full of people that I don't know. That is way out of my comfort zone. Most people probably would think opposite, but that is way out of my comfort zone. But guess what I did? I got dressed, I got in my car, and I went to the event because I knew that it was going to be what I needed to expand me. That's when I began to realize who I am, when I began to recognize it has a meaning, and it means for us to just come to the realization of who you are and never quit. We come to the realization of so many things, but do we ever come to the realization of who you are? Say your name in there. Yep, wow. Say your name out loud. Make it tremble in the atmosphere.
You know what, I tell you, you're going to force me into playing a longer video because knowing yourself, loving yourself, accepting yourself. And we talked about that last time, but I tell you, you're so inspiring. I'm going to come back and because we got a couple of questions. I see a couple of people got some questions for you. And I like that. And plus, I got a couple of questions for you as well. So we're going to take a station break. Please join this great conversation by asking this young lady any questions that you like. She is magnificent. So I tell you, know yourself, love yourself, accept yourself before you share yourself. We'll be back shortly after the break.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do. If you can see it here, you can do it. You might not be able to see it with the physical eyes, but if you can see it here, you can do it. Don't let anyone tell you that you cannot do it. You all are the future leaders of tomorrow. I am a leader. I am a senior. I will be one of the leaders of this world. So, if you know yourself and if you love yourself, you got the confidence, you can share yourself, you can be who you are. It doesn't matter if you're short, tall, fat, beard, whatever, black, white, pink, gold, purple, it doesn't matter. You step up with confidence. You are a masterpiece. You are leaders.
Life is a series of circles and cycles, praises and stages. These experiences teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to It's Your Life with James Cooley. James is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation. James is here to equip you to strive for greatness and overcome adversity. It's time to get you equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, James Cooley.
It's your life.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. As you see, every time I get this guest on, I just kind of lose my mind because she's so inspiring, so inspirational, and you can feel it. You can feel the emotions, you can feel the sense. You can, even if you are not in the room, but you are in the room. And one thing I want to say about what you just said a second ago. And I was listening. You said, "Oh, I hate getting dressed to go to an event by myself and all this." Guess what, Stacy? You're never by yourself. You are never by yourself. You might not have a date on the side of your arm, but you got a date that's hugging you all the way. Let me say that one more time. Mm-hmm. You got a date that hugging you all the way, yes, that inspiring you, and that's saying, my great daughter, you're here because I want you to go in and I want you to inspire. I want you to show people that you have purpose and try to draw out of them where they can understand that they got purpose as well. So you're never by yourself, Stacy.
Thank you for that reminder. I will remember that. Yes.
Also, Christy had a question, and Christy, I apologize, got caught up in the message. We getting ready to get you an answer. Stacy, Christy said, "Do you think that some people are more resilient than others?" It's yes. Then why?
I'm not certain if I would say that people are more resilient than others, because if I think about my clients, so I have a client who has severe mental illness and was living on the street for 13 years. So in that 13 years and having that mental illness, it just got worse. But now she has been off the street for going on 3 years now. She's still living in the facility where she was. But see, that's her level to get to. Now, on the other hand, I have another client who's a young male. And when I met him in 2019, he would not verbally speak on video, but here he was in theater. So how are you not going to speak verbally? God allowed me to be his Uber passenger. And that experience went from him turning from my Uber driver to now a great friend. And I look at him as a son, because through this time we have talked and we have encouraged and we have hugged and we have fussed. But his level, his resilience pushed him to the point of now he has a thriving business. And his thriving business, he left his job and started his own. He's an entrepreneur now and doing well. So I'm not sure that there's more resilience in others than one another. It just depends on how life has, for lack of better terms, shaped you. And with my first client, I'm so proud of her. My second client, I'm so proud of him. But they both showing their resilience. I hope that was.
I hope that she'll let us know, I'm sure. But tell us about your Power and Resilience Coaching Agency. And why did you establish that? I know it's booming, and I know it's going. Let's talk about that a little bit.
We started the Power and Resilience coaching just recently, actually, at the, I think it was summer of 2022, July. Although we had been doing this for a long time. Actually, from 35 plus years now. Every position I was in, Army, got to certain leadership positions, went to Department of Justice, went right into a leadership position. But I knew that people were hurting. I could see it. You could literally see hurt on people. They show it in their behavior. They show it in their posture. They, show it in their everyday life. But I said, if I can turn my life around with God, not by state, not just because of Stacy. Let's not get it twisted. Is God has given me great grace. But because of that, I was in a class one time and they said, you need to write down your own life's mission. And I discovered that my life's mission is to ignite others to be resilient. And the demonstration of my own life said it can be done. And I know that, and I said, well, how do we do that? How do we do that? And, you think about the question people always ask, what would you go do for free? Even though the power and resilience part is not free. We look at it from the standpoint of, this is not a job. I wake up every day and this is who I am. Sometimes people don't like having conversations with me because I don't know how to not encourage you. I don't know how.
Stacey, you mentioned something just right now, and I'll tell you, but what you just said is so powerful. Is this is not a job? Okay, so I have retired from military. Mm-hmm. I retired from corporate, and now I'm a national television talk show host, radio, or whatever podcast. But guess what? This is not a job. It's not a job because, first of all, I'm doing God's work and coaching. I don't put the title coaching behind my name, but every time when we have hundreds of thousands of viewers that's watching our show, we are coaching it. I mean, and if it's just a job, it's like, I don't feel like doing this today. I don't feel like doing that. But Stacey, I know that it's not a job for you. And I know it's a for-profit and I know it's a non-profit. Most people don't understand that, but it's a love of what you're doing. And you love, just like you were telling me about the prison system, which we got to bring that back up because that is so important that our viewers and our listeners understand that version. It's been 3 weeks and I've been waiting to ask you this question again. So let's talk about that one again.
Okay. We want to talk about the prison ministry?
Yes.
Okay,
absolutely.
Awesome. I just want to be clear. So actually, part of my nonprofit Ordered Steps, part of our mission is that we serve formerly incarcerated female veterans. And this came about because I was mentoring in the jail because here I didn't know whether I was going to be able to work, go to school, stay home, what I had to do. My life had changed drastically. And so now here we are, we're saying, what are we going to do with our life? So we find ourselves in a jail mentoring and a question pops up. Why do you keep coming back? So the lady said, well, we don't have anywhere to go. When we leave, we go right back to where we came from. And that happens not just for the women, that happens for everybody who's incarcerated for the most part. I'll say 90% go right back to where they came from. And it was difficult for them to overcome those obstacles without help. So it came to a point, there was a need. When there is a need and you see it, God says it to you at that moment because your eyes are on it, your heart feels it, your ears hear it. It says to you that there's something you can do. So I started asking myself questions. I went home at the time I was married. I went home and he was also mentoring at the jail, and he was mentoring the men. So it was like there was no way we were going to let the men come, because there's different things that come about with that. But we allowed the women to come and stay with us for a year. Ordered Steps Incorporated is 1-year training program. It originally was called Ordered Steps Discipleship Training Center. And so people needed to be able to, first of all, have their minds transformed so they would change the way they were doing things, the way they think, and they had to see a demonstration of it. So we had to live a life that was worthy to be emulated. And we did our best to do that we started in Maryland from 2003 to 2006. And now we're out here in California. I'm out here in California and started it again in 2020 because I had a view right in front of my face, right in my eyesight, right off my balcony at the time. Somebody needed somewhere to live and I needed to figure out, ask questions.
Wow. It's just like I said, you're doing so many extraordinary things. And if we can get others, I'm talking about a few, we're not going to get everybody, Stacy, to understand that the gift of giving is being able to reach out and help others, being able to put service before self, being able to set aside our wants and help others out in their needs. Mm-hmm. It's going to make this world so much a better place. And then I believe that the rewards that God is going to have for us going to make us better. Anyway, we're going to take a station break because my phone is ringing and I thought I had turned it off. But we're going to come back with a lot more of Stacy. So stay tuned. It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and we will be back shortly after the break.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, and my absolute, and I can say fantastic guest, because I'm looking at the numbers here. I see how many people are watching, and Stacy, it's a lot. I mean, that means that this message is resonating, and that's the most important thing is being able to talk truth from the heart. You got a message that's resonating, and people just love watching. I got my SEO folks overseas. I got people in about several different countries. That's actually responding. Sobe, that's him. He love watching your show, and I mean, and a lot more. And but anytime that we are real and we speak from the heart. It's going to bring others in. Doesn't matter where you're at in the world.
Doesn't matter.
You know, I want to talk about coaching. I mean, you are a John Maxwell certified leadership coach, and that's a big deal for people that don't know. I mean, that's a real big deal. Now, why don't you tell our viewers and listeners a little bit about that and how you feel about being in that prestigious group where you are actually sharing the message, where you were certified by one of the best in the business?
You know, it goes to show that when you are completely sold out to be who God put you here to be, things begin to just show up. And that's what happened with John Maxwell. And somehow I got involved, and this is at the time when I was just starting to believe and trust in who I am and my capabilities. And this just it came my way, and I said, well, why not? And I had this magnificent person to coach me through the process. He just was such a ball of life that I felt the genuineness that he was telling me about. You know, I've heard of John Maxwell, just like many have. And it was such an exciting experience just to think that I could even be involved in that. See, when you begin to really believe in who you are, you can say, you know what, I can be a part of a group like John Maxwell, which is world known. And now I have access to all of his teaching, all of his materials. I have access to it, not just the books that we see online and in the stores, but the things that he has written, things that his counterparts have written, to help me make sure that the people who come to me seeking out a different way are provided a full multitude of resources. It's not just one resource with power and resilience. I get to reach into a well that is worldwide. And literally, it just happened. And it was so exciting. I have to tell you this part, because when we have to do our final speech, when we speak, you have to be in front of the John Maxwell people. And of course, their teams. But it was during the pandemic. It was in 2020. And we had to do our speech in front of people from across the world. I had people in my group from Portugal and Scotland. I was trying to put the two together. And people, my group leader lives in Africa. So it was such a great experience because the other people were from different places who had to do their speech just like I did. It made you feel pretty good once people, you get finished and people are clapping and you're like, oh my goodness, look what's happening. I'm growing.
Wow, Stacy. I mean, every time that you hit a post, I see the viewership go up by 100. You think I'm joking, but I'm not.
I believe you. I trust you.
I'm not. But I tell you, yeah, John Maxwell. I'm talking about anytime I'm in coaching, and I tell you, our viewers and listeners out there, this is a fantastic young lady that is a multitude of a lot of different things. And she's doing a lot of different things to bring joy and happiness in others' lives. But most importantly, when I tell you that she is a child of the Most High God, and um, and everything that comes from her, at least I believe, is coming directly from the heart. It's not too many people out there that speak directly from the heart and mean it. I mean, because there's always an alternative, something behind that. There is nothing about this young lady and nothing about myself either that we have an alternative motive. There is no such thing. This is straight from the father who's given his child, Stacy, unlimited ad sources and power to go out and help change the world. And most important things about the things that we do, Stacy, and I think you agree with me, is we just don't change communities. We just don't change states. Our mission is to change the world, to make it a better place and make it a place where everybody feel equal, everybody feel comfortable, everybody feel loved.
Loved.
And it's gonna take, and it's gonna take a lot of Stacys, a whole lot of Stacys out there with that mentality, attitude, resilience. I say resilience because that's all she talk about.
Yes.
It's going to take a person like that. Stacey, we're down to the last 2 minutes of the show, and but I still had to get that out there like that because I just want them to know how wonderful that I believe, and I know I'm looking at these comments that you are. Can you provide to our listeners and viewers three main takeaways that you want them to get from this? No, hold on. Also, Stacy, you got to come back on the show for part 3. It's on me. It's on me. It's on me. Okay. Part 3.
Okay.
And you know what I mean by that.
Okay. The first thing I want people to take away is just do yourself a favor and get a clear understanding of who you are. Don't try to get in everybody else's lane. Not always, but I sometimes equate things to church. And when you go to the church, it looks like, you look like you might be good on the usher board, or you might be good. You might be good back here cooking chicken, but the whole time you had a youth pastor standing right there with you all the time, and wondering why the youth weren't doing what you wanted them to do. So
we only got a minute now, Stacey.
Say who you are. Always be awesome. Always be awesome in every situation. Take the high road. Be awesome about it. Make yourself feel awesome. Make the other people feel awesome. Check us out on Power and Resilience on Instagram.
Hey, and anywhere else that they can get in touch with you if they need to, because you're wonderful, and I might be wonderful. Stacey, this is John Doe.
They can always find me at Power in Resilience. Power in Resilience, RESILIENCE, or just my name, Stacy Bullock, BULLUCK. I always think if everything else fail, use the Google search because I will come up.
Stacey, you've been absolutely wonderful. Thank you again. I would like to have you back in a month if your schedule allow. But I like to thank Stacy for taking the time to come on the show. I like to thank my awesome executive producer, co-host, Dr. Michelle Cooley. Most importantly, I'd like to thank you, the listeners, for tuning in to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I want everybody to always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. It's your life. I'm Dr. James Cooley.